Assalamu alaikum, everyone. How are we all doing today? Um, so I thought I was going to do a YouTube short just now, but the information is a bit too much for a short. So I'll do a little video, a few minutes. A few minutes. It's okay. I don't mind. Anyway, so I'm looking at the. I'm looking at. Let me get comfortable here. Yeah. So I'm looking at the some article regarding Kamala Harris doing an interview in CBS, and they were asking her about how would they still, consider Netanyahu a key ally or an important ally or something like that. And she was saying somewhere along the lines of, well, she didn't really answer that question. But what she did say was that the US has been working with Israel and their Arab counterparts in trying to establish peace in the region. And all the things that the US has been working with Israel on, Israel has been putting them into motion. All the things that Israel is carrying out, the US knows about them, or the US took part in them. So what that means, of course, I mean, for example, the US a few days ago, they attacked, they were bombing a part of Yemen, yeah? Like, military depots, whatever, places that they say the Houthis are in. But, I mean, they're still bombing Yemen. So people are going to die. Innocent civilians are going to die. And as the great George Carlin, American comedian, like not only comedian, he's somewhat of a philosopher back in his day. As he would say, one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. And so the Houthis, Hezbollah, Iran, even, of course, everyone in the West saying, oh, they contribute to them, they're their proxies. I don't care. I don't care. The US has proxies everywhere. So they should be quiet. They should be quiet. So, they are freedom fighters. And what Harris was saying, of course, was that all the things that Israel is doing, killing a lot of innocent civilians, uh, in, in Lebanon, yeah. Of course, they are taking part. The U.S. They have military intelligence involved. They are coordinating. They are fully coordinating with Israel on this. They're actually happy that this is happening, because if they succeed in helping to defeat Hezbollah, then they could take South Lebanon. Like, they could be able to take the farmland over there, and there's like a river over there. There's a very big river over there. I forgot what it's called. I don't know the geography well over there, but there's a river, and that river, Israel has been eyeing it from before, and they have settlers that want to settle near that river. Oh, good farmland. Yeah, that belongs to us. That's part of Greater Israel, which incidentally is a myth, actually. There was never a Greater Israel. I actually watched this really enlightening YouTube documentary. I will post it in a description. So if anyone want to watch it, it's so good. Like, it actually describes in detail why there was never a greater Israel in the first place. And in fact, it was a lie. It was a lie. Like, ancient Egypt is involved in the documentary, and they did meticulous documentation. They always had a documentation process back in the time of the pharaohs. So there was never any movement of many Jewish people by the millions that went on to establish a greater Israel. You'll watch the documentary after. It's very enlightening. And the lies that were made in order to make it seem like there was a greater Israel, when there was like only a fraction of a fraction was actually lived in by the Israeli tribes. It's quite illuminating, honestly. Anyway, so what Harris is hoping for, what the U.S. government in general is hoping for, besides the money that they could make from all of this, the money from the weapons testing, the technology testing in general that that the Israeli army would be doing for them, for the weapons manufacturers and all that, is that were Israel to settle their settlers into southern Lebanon, on the pretense of greater Israel, yeah, it's ours, always been ours, no matter what. We're the chosen ones, yeah, hurrah. Oh, God. Anyway, were that to happen, the U.S. would have a foothold there as well. The U.S. would, since Israel is their key ally here, they're the most important ally. So, were Israel to have a part of Lebanon, it would be good for the U.S. as well, because that would mean Hezbollah is less of a threat, Iran is less of a threat, and there's more Israeli dominance in the region and U.S. dominance in the region. Because as Biden said in the 1980s, as a young senator, and I will say this as often as I can, uh, the few billion that they spend on Israel every year is the greatest security investment that the U.S. government could make, as Biden would say, as he said, and he still believes now, of course, as many U.S. politicians believe, not only because it gets them money and power and influence from the Israeli lobby and all of that. I discussed the other reasons, of course, but that's the main reason, yeah. Uh, so yeah, strategically, the U.S. would love this because it helps to defeat the so-called enemies of not only Israel but the U.S. because they have common ideologies. They both believe in the same principles of warfare, of who your allies are, who your enemies are, and your allies are only those that will unconditionally give you what you want. There is no like equal relationship here. I mean, ironically for the US, that is just, that's what Israel is doing to them. Israel is out Americaning the US. Out Americaning, is that a word? I don't know. But Israel is using US foreign policy tactics on the US itself. Really, such sweet, bitter irony for them. Of course, they can never see that because then, yeah, the house of cards will fall down, and we can't have that. We got to pretend that we're always in control no matter what. So, of course, that's what the U.S. government wants to do. They want to say, oh, whatever Israel gets, it's good for us. It's good for us. Whoever, and of course, Israel is always going to have a new enemy in order to manufacture more violence, more war, and more battles or whatever or whatnot, and they will take more land in the future. And once again, the U.S. will be cheering for them and going, yes, yes, you took down these terrorists and you took land from them, land that they're not going to use to target you and to target the U.S., of course, because they may target the U.S. in the future. You never know. I mean, yeah, like maybe if you maybe if you didn't keep attacking them all the time and killing their civilians and destroying their infrastructure or helping Israel do that, maybe then there won't be any so-called fanatics. I say so-called because the people that end up wanting to hurt the US or hurt Israel, or they want to take revenge for all the things done to them, to their own families, to it's really, you're digging your own hole. You're digging yourself into this hole. You just leave them alone. Just leave them alone. It's their country. They have rights. You don't encroach on their rights just because your God or a different religion's God, like Judaism says, oh, you have that right. That's not even true, of course. As you will see in the YouTube video, of course, in the description, you will see what I mean about that. So, anyhow, the US government is fully on board, of course. Fully on board. Once again, that's just what I want to say. There is no such thing as, we we didn't really know, or we knew some of it, but we don't agree with everything that happened. No, they agree with everything that Israel is doing. So that's all I gotta say about that. And inshallah, you all have a good day. So take care of yourselves.